Public presentations, the City of Auburn always strives to make itself available upon request for presentations on our program to our local schools, to Auburn University, to local civic groups, our city council, local workshops, state conferences. And we really feel like that these partnerships that we form help to strengthen public relations within our community, which really helps us to deliver the ultimate message of our program. You really have to have the support and back up one slide, please. You really have to have the support and buy-in and involvement of your local community in order for your program to be successful. I like to tell other communities that come to visit our program to make yourself available and really be proud of your program. Marlou mentioned earlier briefly target audience initiatives, and I think our next speaker is really going to focus on this, but I want to talk briefly about target audience initiatives. Really, I think this should be the first component of a successful education and outreach program. Obviously, the way you educate developers is probably going to be different than the way you educate engineers. It's really going to be different than the way you educate your homeowners. Some specific examples of the way the City of Auburn has targeted various audiences in the City of Auburn: our annual erosion and sediment control workshop. With this, we engage local developers, engineers, and contractors. And really, this is a very low-cost workshop for us. We get volunteer speakers, typically someone from our state regulatory agency and someone involved within the erosion sediment control industry to provide presentations at the workshop. And we also get a local contractor to volunteer a site demonstration of proper BMP installation at the conference. This is held at a city facility. We typically average about 60 to 80 in attendance, and our only cost is providing a meal for the workshop. Our rain barrel workshops were formed as a result of a partnership with a local grassroots organization on the Auburn University campus that was interested in rain barrels. We provided meeting space for planning meetings, storage space for the barrels, as well as volunteer assistance for the workshops. Again, this was very low cost. The barrels were donated to us, and really the citizens have really enjoyed these series of workshops that we've had. Our low-impact development workshops were a series of 4 workshops that we held last year, hands-on workshops that focused on low-impact development principles that really were targeting our local engineering community that were involved with design of developments within the City of Auburn. Funding and resources for these workshops were provided by the Southeast Regional Water Quality Assistance Network, which was really just a consortium of watershed programs throughout the Southeast that was formed as a result of a EPA-targeted watershed grant. The city provided meeting space and advertisement as well as volunteer assistance for this, but again, very low cost, very effective outreach opportunity.
So we have a poll about those. My utility has held targeted workshops about which? Erosion and sediment control, low impact development, or rain barrels? Mark whichever are appropriate. All right, so the most popular topic has been erosion and sediment control. Matt, you're welcome to comment or just move on.
Okay, thanks, Matthew. Yeah, very interesting that those were relatively even, although erosion and sediment control had slightly higher percentage. Moving into interdepartmental sharing, I really think this has been a large reason for the success of our program here in the City of Auburn. Really, we have a team approach to our stormwater management program here in the city through collaboration with other city departments. Our stormwater program is really not just housed within our watershed division. It's a component of all the various departments here within the City of Auburn and how we work together to educate our community. A specific example of that here in the City of Auburn is our annual Earth Day activities that are hosted by our Parks and Recreation Department. It also involves us here in Water Resource Management as well as our Environmental Service Department. We provide hands-on demonstrations for our local schools that show them the importance of protecting the environment and our natural resources. And we found that really this networking with other departments here in the city saves us money. It provides a great public relations opportunity, and it allows us to be more flexible with our program. Another example, a great example of interdepartmental sharing as well as partnerships here in the city of Auburn is the Lee County Water Festival. This is a partnership of many departments and stakeholders, and not just the city of Auburn. The stakeholders throughout Lee County are involved with this activity. This reaches a very large audience. We reach about 1,800 to 2,000 fourth graders from across Lee County over the course of 2 days. They're taught the importance of protecting our water resources through hands-on demonstrations such as the mini filtration unit, the edible aquifer, and the water cycle bracelet. This is, again, a very relatively low-cost opportunity for the city. We provide a small level of sponsorship for the Water Festival. We also provide volunteer assistance to help during the event. So a key component of your program really is to determine how you're going to measure the success of your efforts. Here in the city of Auburn, we have developed a comprehensive water quality monitoring program that allows us to measure the effect of our program on our local water resources. And really, we feel like if we're showing improved water quality, that means our efforts are doing some good. I would suggest starting, if you're not doing water quality monitoring, you can start with a very basic water quality monitoring for very low cost. Actually, you can buy a handheld turbidimeter for about $800 to $900, and then expand as your program, as your budget and your manpower allows. That's essentially what we did here in the city of Auburn. We, back when our program was housed in our Public Works Department, we were doing routine turbidity monitoring downstream of construction sites after rainfall events. Since that time and since the creation of our Watershed division, we've developed a more comprehensive program where we're doing additional monitoring both on a monthly basis as well as a quarterly basis, where we're looking at total phosphorus monitoring associated with the Salgahatchee Creek watershed, land use characterization through MS4 monitoring. And another key thing here with our monitoring program is forming good relationships with your citizen monitoring groups, if you have those in your community. We have found that those partnerships that we have formed with them have been very beneficial to us. It really has allowed us to have more eyes on our water resources. As they see things of concern within the community, they call us and let us know, and it allows us to respond to issues in a more timely manner that maybe we may have not otherwise seen. So in closing, how do you have success on a small budget? First and foremost, partnerships. The whole is greater than the sum of the parts. Interdepartmental assistance and sharing within your organization. Having a flexible program, being flexible to your budget, your manpower, the specifics of your MS4. Maintaining support and understanding of your elected officials is critical to having the resources you need to develop and initiate your program. I mentioned earlier, advertising your program, being proud of what you're doing, and making yourself available to those in your community. Be creative through the use of local resources. You may be surprised to find what kind of resources are available to you in your community for education and outreach. And then tapping into other resources such as WEF. I think there's going to be a link at the end of the presentation for the stormwater report that WEF has recently released. EPA has a number of brochures and educational materials that are available as well as a number of other organizations that you can find on the website that have tons and tons of information available. And so with that, I'll take any specific questions or wait till the end.
We've got questions in a bunch of directions. Now is a good time to type in your questions for Matt. We have a poll question here for you. My utility has collaborated with schools and nonprofits on which of the above? And Matt, we did have one question that already got typed in, and that was, can you explain more what these water cycle bracelets are?
Yeah, the water cycle bracelets it's actually just from what I understand, and typically I've been involved with the mini filtration in the edible aquifer, but it's actually just a bracelet with beads that they use to represent different phases of the water cycle, and they teach the school children the different phases of the water cycle, and they build a bracelet while they're learning about that.
And what is the edible aquifer?
The edible aquifer, oddly enough, it actually uses ice cream and Sprite, which the kids love, and they use chocolate syrup and various other candy and things to demonstrate how pollutants can get into our groundwater, and they actually drill a well in the aquifer using a straw, and they get to drink the ice cream Sprite mixture at the end. So I think the kids really enjoy that. So.
I bet. And you didn't mention this time. You've mentioned earlier that that when you talk to the adults, the food that you give them is barbecue. So you've got all sorts of culinary ways to appeal to people.
That's right.
Anyway, we have the results in. We have more than half of you doing storm drain stenciling and an Earth Day or Water Festival. Less than half of you doing rain barrels or monitoring. But WEP has lots of materials available for World Water Monitoring Day, and we encourage you to use them. In any case, we will move on to our next speaker.